You're watching World News from Indonesia's pioneer news channel Metro TV. I'm Najla Hilabi, and here are the main stories for today. U.S. President Donald Trump and China's leader Xi Jinping will meet to discuss trade issues on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Buenos Aires this week. A new kind of cafe offers espressos and cappuccinos made by a rowboat. But first, a new development has emerged in last month's crash of Indonesian Lion Air flight JT610. A report by the Indonesian National Transportation Safety Committee, based on the black box data, cites equipment failures and the airline safety measures as factors in the disaster. Indonesian authorities have released the findings from the Lion Air jet's flight data recorder, which showed the pilots of the Boeing 737 MAX 8 struggled to maintain controls as an automatic safety system repeatedly forced the plane's nose down. The Boeing 737 MAX 8 is equipped with an automated system that pushes the nose down if a sensor detects that the nose is pointed so high that the plane could go into an aerodynamic stall. The report noted erroneous data from the plane's angle of attack or AOA sensor distorted measurements of the plane's speed and altitude, contributing to the crash. Additionally, the report repeats previous recommendations that pilots be better versed in emergency procedures and aware of past aircraft problems. Meanwhile, Director of the Lion Air Group, Edward Sirait, has disputed the findings of the report, insisting the plane was indeed fit to fly, and announced Lion Air would take legal action to prove so. Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan attended a groundbreaking ceremony for the first visa-free border crossing with India on Wednesday. The crossing, known as Kartarpur Corridor, is a rare sign of cooperation between the two nuclear-armed rival countries. Imran Khan addressed the audience at the ceremony, which came after India last week gave the green light for the corridor for around 17 minutes. The crossing, an initiative of Khan, will allow Sikh pilgrims to easily visit their shrines on each side of the border. It's unclear how long the constructions will take or when the crossing will actually open. Instead of visas, the pilgrims will be given special permits to access their shrines, the Dera Baba Nanak in India's Punjab province, and the Gurdwara Darbar Sahib in Pakistan's Narowal border district in its own Punjab province. U.S. President Donald Trump and China's leader Xi Jinping will meet to discuss trade issues on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Buenos Aires this week. VOA's Patsy Widakuswara reports from the White House.
Leaders are preparing for the annual gathering of the world's top 20 economies in Buenos Aires, Argentina this weekend. And two will be in the spotlight as the ongoing trade war between their two countries continues. U.S. President Donald Trump will meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the G20 summit. White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow says President Trump is open to a deal with China with some caveats.
Issues of intellectual property theft must be solved. Forced technology transfers must be solved. Significant tariffs and non-tariff barriers must be solved. Issues of ownership have to be solved.
If no deal is made, the White House will consider hiking tariffs on $200 billion of Chinese imports and adding tariffs on another $267 billion worth of imports. Former U.S. Ambassador to China, Winston Lord.
President Trump is correct to try to correct the economic inequities, although I think the tariffs is the wrong way to go about it, and it's better to have his more recent emphasis on forced technology transfer, intellectual property theft, subsidies to Chinese companies, etc.
Meanwhile, Beijing has warned that a trade war could lead to a fragmentation of the global economy.
Under the circumstances, when global trade and investments are in great difficulties, G20 has the responsibility to discuss trade and investment protectionism. and need to send out a clear signal against unilateralism and trade protectionism.
A cooling down of trade tensions will help ease financial market concerns worldwide. Investors will be looking for signals that the two sides are willing to resolve trade differences. The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in mid-November failed to produce a joint statement, largely due to differences between Washington and Beijing. The world will be watching whether the G20 will be a breakthrough or another stalemate. Patsy Widakuswara, VOA News at the White House.
Coming up on World News, computer-generated news anchor created by China's official Xinhua News Agency with artificial intelligence capabilities have begun broadcasting in China for the first time. We'll visit a place where musicians call it the Holy Grail of clubs and home to American jazz, the Preservation Hall.